Okay. Okay, so this is the video that you guys can skip to if you haven't, or you can do it at the end. But I want to show you guys exactly how it works to work with me. I think that's really important so you guys can see everything I've talked about actually put into action. So we're going to just go through a couple of my students so you guys can get an idea. So just like you, they all have the same document, you have the same thing. It would say everything about you, just like you filled out. Now, every one of you is different, and if you work with me privately, obviously I go through this with you hand in hand, and I really help you make it like phenomenal, because of course I'm working with you weekly for an hour. So with this particular student, he is a very good player. He played MLS Next, then he went abroad to Germany, came back, and he had some interest from D1s, but then they were all gone, and he emailed them all and none of them responded. And so he was stuck. So he reached out to me via social media. And so we started to fix everything. First of all, we fixed his video. His initial video was fine, but I just switched the order of the clips. I could show you what I did, but it'd be hard for you to know the difference. Basically, I was just like, look, he had some clips from a stadium, and they were just so much better when they were clips from the stadium first instead of later. This is what his video looks like, so we can take a look. You won't be able to hear it, but you'll get the idea. So we did the self-interview, which I want you all to do. It's very simple cover page here. Winger 5'11", 3.1, FC Dallas, MLS Next, Germany. And then he goes into the video. Now the very first clip here, as you can see, is in a stadium. We have a circle around him, which is really important. And then this is him playing soccer. Look, I can't make you guys play better soccer. You guys have to do the soccer part. But his first clips initially were like these clips. This was like one of his first clips. And you can see how much worse this is as a first clip, although it does say Toronto FC here, which is very helpful. It's just not a great first clip in comparison to clips like this, which is in a stadium, and it's a lot more professional looking. And he's a good soccer player, and if you want to watch the rest of this video, I will manage to put his link somewhere. Otherwise, you can look up Joey Perryman highlights. So this is his highlights. His highlights are around 6 minutes long. And the main thing that I fixed, though, was the first minute. That's the most important part, and then your resume as well. So in his case, we fixed his video, created a self-interview. We also did want to get his coach, but in his case, we were running out of time, and his coaches from Germany didn't speak great English, so we decided we're not going to do the coach interview. You don't have to, but if you're like borderline, it's really helpful. In his case, we haven't needed it. He's gotten offers. In his case, his GPA is hindering him. He's already gotten interest from schools, but because of his GPA, like he did get limited options. So that's him. I just want to talk to you through a little bit more. After that, we have his list of colleges, just like we did with you. For him, we really just focused on the Division I schools because we kind of knew that he was going to get some offers in that realm, so we were able to skip some steps. He also did have some contacts before he met me, but we put every single school on his list. So if you go here to his D1 list, as we're here, and we scroll down, this is literally every single school, and he emailed every single one of them. And then if he did, he put a little star by it if you got a genuine response, and then he put what he sent, and then he also put what the genuine responses were. Now, he was getting so many, he hasn't completely updated his document yet. Now, this part, the J done, this part is a little customized. I have to know you. This is a school that he no longer wants to pursue because he has offers from schools that are better. So for in his case, we're done. We're not going to keep pursuing Massachusetts Lowell. We're all done with them. Now, here's a great example. UMBC, we still want to pursue. So X meant that they never responded to his genuine email. I want you guys to keep it blank unless you have your own mechanism of organization, but I'd like you to stick with my method because that way I can help you better. So it's easier for me, but it is also helpful that he put an X there because it tells me that he sent the email, which I already knew because he copied and pasted the email that he sent in this document. Now, in his case, UMBC did not respond the first time, but a bunch of other schools did with offers, including Connecticut College offered him an offer. He got an official visit from West Virginia. He got another official visit from Kentucky, and Michigan State also wanted his transcript. So we actually put that in we spoke about it today actually. He's going to write this email. I was unable to reach you the first 2 attempts. I've since been made an offer by so-and-so, and I have been made official visit teams to SBC in the SBC conference, and recently sent my transcript to Michigan State. So what we're doing to UMBC is we're saying, look, we've got nothing else to lose. You're not responding to us. I may as well tell you that I've been made other offers. I still really like your school. I even might want to go to your school more than the schools that have made me offers. So do you want to respond to me now? And they might respond, they might not. We really don't know. So then here's another example. He doesn't want to go to SMU, so we're kind of done with that. Davidson, we said done because they told him he doesn't have the grades. So we're all done with them. And we kind of keep going, as you can see here, through the list. Now this is a D1 prospect. I want to show you another student. This is a Division III prospect, probably, and I'm very clear with everybody. I tell them what I think, but then I'm very clear to go, look, I think you're X level. Because I think you're X level, we're going to reach out to those schools first. If we get offers and responses, we'll move on to Division II. And if we move on to get offers and interest, we move on to Division III. So he's a prime example. He's already gotten some interest from Division III schools. So UC Santa Cruz, for example, they sent him a genuine response. He put the email here, so that way I know what's going on. And we made his mass email template, which I made with you guys, and I can show you a little bit more about that in a second. But he's got his little star here because they made a genuine response, and he's gotten interest from the Hood College. Also, like, they didn't quite make him an offer. He's only at 2024, which means, depending on when you're watching this video, he's going to graduate in 2 years. So he still has some means here, but some time here. But these are schools that, have shown proper interest, Dominican as well. So in his case, there are some Division III schools that we still want to spend some extra time on because he really likes these for academic purposes. So these are schools we're still going to pursue, but we also have not heard from them. See, he sent the email to them. In this one, he didn't put the date, which he should have, which is going to happen. You guys are really busy. And he wrote down what he sent to the coach. That way we know what email was sent. And this was the Colby, and we put an E by it because E means extra, we want to spend extra attention with them, and those are schools we really want to go to. I put a lot of schools on his list, as you can see here. Worcester State, for example. This is Kalamazoo, which is in the Midwest. He doesn't want to go to these schools, but you're telling me you want to play college soccer? You got to reach out to all the schools first. Then once you've gotten responses, you can start getting picky about which schools you want to go to. You have to earn it. You can't just skip that step. So these are some schools that, he's already gotten a lot of interest from this school, Williams, which he's very happy about. So because of that, he got interest from schools that he's actually interested in for the D3. So he doesn't have to email pretty much any more Division IIIs that he's no longer interested in. Now what he can do is he can skip to go to Division IIs. So we scroll up here to the Division II section. Sorry, where's Division II? If you don't know, you press Command F and you can just type in D2. And then what will happen is every single word that says D2 will pop up, and there's the section. So in his case, he started emailing some of these schools. You can see he hasn't emailed some of them because there's no writing, but for other schools he has started to email. It's also split up by region, so these are all schools in California. This is what you're going to make, remember, with the Productive Recruit, or if you work with me privately, I will make the list for you. So he started emailing some D2s, and he's gotten some interest. So Southern New Hampshire said, invited him to the camp, a genuine invitation. So he said, I made a note of the camp. I'll obviously keep you updated. We have a scrimmage with MLS next team, and I'd love to send you that full game video. So this was his response to that school on August 31st. This is great. This is from a D2 school. He doesn't really want to go to Southern New Hampshire. It's not a top choice. But now we can go to these D3 schools that we put an E next to, or NYU, which he's interested in. And now we can write an email here saying, I've been invited by Division II school, a genuine invitation to their college ID camp. Division II, that makes NYU interested. That's how you leverage these schools eventually against each other. Now, he hasn't gotten a lot of response from the D2s, but enough, because we only needed 1 or 2. I've already had him starting to reach out to Division I schools, and so far he's only gotten generic answers. He hasn't gotten any other ones, and his video and his level is probably not Division I level as of today, but he knows that, and he wants to approach academically minded schools with his interest. But we're still going to email the D1s because soccer's subjective, and you never forget no. Now, I also want to show you guys this. So this is how to keep the document organized. Please, if you get a generic email, write the word generic next to it, okay? If you get a genuine email, you're going to put a star next to it. And then the other ones are kind of customized based off your situation. But let's say they're done. Wake Forest are we're not recruiting anymore. Put done. See, it pops up over here. So then we know that school is done and we don't have to worry about them. Another one could be E. E would be extra. I want this school. I'm going to pay extra attention to them. Those are pretty much all the key factors. Now, what I will do is in your program here, I will put the key phrases. So what I'll do here, so that way you guys remember what to do in your document, key terms. So we'll go star, oopsies, what are you doing? Star equals genuine email, done equals done pursuing that school, E equals extra time to spend on that school, and then you could put like your first initials, so first initial and then the word done if you have decided you no longer want to pursue that school, and that's fine. So like with Joey Perryman, he has a couple schools here where he's like, I'm not going to pursue them any longer, and we labeled them here. This is a good one, like Air Force. He doesn't want to go to Air Force, so he put J done. So it was his decision to no longer pursue that school. So that way we really know what that means. So first initial done equals if you've decided to be done. Now, it's your document. You can keep it organized any way you want. It's helpful if you do it this way because then I'll know like what's happening, so it's an easier transition, but I don't really care how you do it, but it's important that you do it. Now, I also want to show you with these guys, when we made their email templates, again, I do classes with these guys, and in this program are literal classes where I'm talking to them directly, and you can listen into those. So remember, you have your mass email, which is like, we talked about how to do that. I helped these guys write this, which is why they got so many responses, in my opinion, as well as we fixed their video. Those are the two main things. I hope this finds you well. I've heard great things about your program. Find something genuine. Example, I played against your team. I watch you on YouTube. I read that you're here. If you work with me privately, in some cases, I'll use my name in the email. And then I have a 4 this is the template part that never changes. I have a 4.0, plays it right back at current for Palo Alto 06, blah, blah, blah. Now, the other thing we do also is we create your guys' subject line, and the subject line will depend like on who you are, but we talked about that in the email template section. It's really important to put the highlights first. So like a student like him would have been like 4.0 GPA, we would say ECNL, RL/ECNL, because he kind of trains with that team, and it's helpful to have the term ECNL in your email. Then we would probably put he's a right back, and that he graduates in 2024, and then it would depend on the situation. Maybe we would say fall game, maybe we would say showcase. That part depends on what's happening in your situation. Now these are templates like we talked about, like how to follow up with each one, which we kind of talked about quite a bit, and I want to review those a little bit right now because I think they're really important. So let's say we're going through the email templates. Obviously you have your mass email, which we already spoke about, blah, blah, blah. I want to talk about like each one is different. So here's an example of like before the showcases, for after the showcases, before an ID camp, after an ID camp, when you cannot, when you get invited to a fall game. Now this is when you're not hearing back from coaches, and this is a really helpful section. So at some point you're not going to hear back from coaches because that's just how this works. And when you're not hearing back from coaches, you have to figure out a way to get them to respond. So one way is to say something like this. In fact, yeah, that's fine. One thing is to say something like this. Dear coach, I have a significant research regarding the admissions, and it is possible I will be admitted to your school with an academic scholarship. I plan on applying with or without soccer. Of course, this has to be relatively accurate, so you need good grades, you need to have done research. But if you say something like that, they'll be much more likely to look at your email because of that. And the subject line for something like this would say at the beginning, it would say like applying to your school, like, and then you would put the rest of it. That's really important. You do the same thing with this one as well for applying, and that would be really, really, really helpful. The other thing to do is you quote coaches. So this is something we did with one of our students. I'll just show you the example here. I'll be applying with or without soccer. I'm planning to attend this fall. I'm speaking with a couple other schools. Division I Evansville invited me on a visit and sent me the following message. Tristan, you let us know what game works for you to come to, and we'd love to have you. I'm impressed with your highlight tape. So now this student got this email from a D1 school. He hasn't gotten a lot of other D1 responses, but he can now leverage this for certain Division 3 schools that he's interested in, and even Division 2 schools, and even other Division 1 schools. So that's why you can quote, and that's really, really helpful. And then this is a way to follow up after the game, which is like another good, very important template to the process. Now, with the email template stuff, you know, it really depends, guys. It's really difficult. This is why I do a lot of privates, is without knowing your exact situation, it's difficult, which is why I have the classes once a week, so I can talk to you guys about how I think you guys can fix like each of your emails, because the emails and writing the emails in this clever, important way are just so valuable. And that's how I feel about that, if that makes sense to you. This particular video that you just listened to was like a summary giving you an example. I really strongly encourage you guys to like, please, the other videos that I have of me, like with all my students, working with them for months sometimes, and you can listen in on those. Again, just fast forward, so I talk really fast, which you guys should know how to do at this point, and just listen in on those, talking to my students. If you listen in on 3 or 4 of those, they're hours long, you'll be like, oh, I think I know what to do in this situation, in case I'm not with you for that exact second. Otherwise, of course, you can work with me privately, or we can work together during the class. I hope this was really helpful. This is the end of the program. You've done a great job to get to this point. You should have come a long way. Again, I strongly encourage you to keep this document that you will get updated, because then when you come to my class, those are the students I'm going to prioritize, because I can quickly look at their information and I can answer more of your questions, because we meet once a week and I do have a semi-limited time, but I'm going to answer as many questions of yours as I can, so that way we can quickly get to the bottom of the problem, so that way we can get you guys recruited. I love all of you. Again, if you want to talk to me privately, let me know, because then I can kind of help you through this like with a bit more hands-on approach. And otherwise, like, listen to this program. It will help you so much. I talk to you guys very soon. Good job, and much love. Whew. What's up, everybody? Hold